All right. So in continuation of showing how to use markers, but now how to use markers on an object. Right. Previously, I did this, showing how to use markers and trying to get even marker work on the page. It requires you to work fast so that the marker work, as it dries evenly. Now let's try and put that on some objects. So here I have the 1955 Porsche Continental Cabriolet. I have a reference photo in front of me, and the light is kind of coming from all over the place, and this thing is somewhat reflective. What I'm going to do is mostly ignore those reflections initially and just focus on trying to show form. I think the best way to do that, well, I already have a ground shadow right here, so I am saying the light is kind of coming from the top, but I can kind of cheat that a little bit and either make it come from the side over here more or the front. I think I want that light to come from the front because that way when I start adding some reflections and highlights, I can do them on this chrome bits right here. So I will probably end up adjusting this shadow right here and kind of pushing it back. So it's not going to come like straight down like this, but maybe at an angle. We can even just do that with a pen right now. Right there, if that shadow's coming down at an angle, you know, it might get pushed back like that. And even back there, maybe even a little bit here, so this side gets pushed in shadow. All right, my number one marker is drying out, so I'm gonna be focused on using the 3, the 5, and the 7 mostly, maybe even the 9. All right, so where do I have surfaces doing different things, right? If I look at this right here, I have a surface kind of going like this, which kind of looks like part of a cylinder. It looks kind of like this right here, right? Rolling this way, but the light is going to be coming a little darker right here and lighter up here, and it'll also be lighter maybe towards the front and darker towards the back. I have this surface right here, which looks like a plane kind of rolling back this way. So again, it'll be lighter up front, maybe darker back here if light's kind of coming from this direction. Maybe even just a little bit darker down here, but light right here in the middle. This wheel well and light will be similar to that one, and it seems like this whole surface on the side right here will be in shadow, so that should be pretty even lighting. But as it comes up, it rolls. So even though if it's like if we say this is a 3 or a 5 here, it's gonna transition into being light on the top up there, so leaves some of the page value showing through. The wheels, the wheels are gonna be all in shadow, so I don't think I'm gonna worry too much about getting details in the wheels. Let's make it easy and jump straight into it. Well, not easy and straight into, well, yeah, I don't know why it's easy or not for you following, but hopefully it is, and I'm going to make this pretty tough, decisive decision right now. It is, that's it, it's a 5 right there. That's a 5, right? What I'm working at, like clean edges, working fast, just keep it an even blend, and pull this back here. Again, work fast. You really have to work fast here. If you don't, the pen mark will show through. There's something nice about a little bit of the marker work showing through, but most of it, as much as possible, you want to blend, and then you end up leaving these little areas where it's nice that it's not showing through. So, what other surfaces are like this surface right here? Well, I guess this one right here, if light's not hitting it, and a little bit back here. So we got that. I'll worry about blending that a little bit later. And even though this is shiny, right, got that. Something on the underside, this thing is round right here, so that might be a little darker right there. And even again, I said the tires might even get darker than this, but right now all the tire this tire. All of this tire. And also my shadow right here. But you'll notice how, right, I try and do my shadow in little areas that I can keep them smooth and blended together by working fast with the marker. So now it feels like light's kind of coming from this direction a little bit. What I want to work next is like a transition where this rolls from here up and over. So let's go to the 3 and pull a little of that ink to have a nicer blend and transition. And so these little finesses I'm doing are a little about this kind of being slightly reflective. One of the things that helps a lot is not trying to correct strokes too much. You want kind of big, broad strokes as much as possible with the marker. If you finesse it too much, you will let your little strokes show through, and it will kind of come across as maybe a little not confident with the sketch you're doing. It will also not show the form as well as you would like. Right, so you'll see me do something like this. Right, that's a hint at some reflection on the side there. It's going to blend out and we won't see much of it, but just trying to pull that in there. What else I got? I got this in here is really dark. I'm not sure if I want to quite go to a 7 because that might be too much contrast on there. But even though I just said I'm not quite sure I want to go with 7, I'm going with 7 and doing it, and I'll have to figure out how to make it work if for some reason that's a big mistake. But same thing, blending that so that the marker work is try as evenly as possible. Wow, I am really happy with the way that turned out. I shouldn't sound so surprised. We've got some of the wheel well in here as like something much darker on this side. The tire. It's darker here. I'm trying to work fast. Right. I'll go with an area, and then if I feel like I'm getting too far away, go back to an area and just try to blend from one to the next. Tire back here. I'll leave the shadow just a little lighter for now. All right, so there's that. I think I want to come back with the 5. This is like this chrome piece right here. So I come back with the 5 and the chisel tip and get a little bit of like some reflections in there. Same thing here, a little bit of reflections right there. Some reflections right there. All right, so I have a very smooth surface, and I'm going in and adding some reflections after I have my smooth marker on the page. Might even come in now, I think about it, with a 7 to add some of those reflections in there. But that's after I have that nice smooth blend up there. In fact, I might, not just might anymore, I'm definitely coming in with a 7. On this, again, the chisel tip, so I have a sharper edge right there. I don't worry too much, again, about trying to correct the the marker work. One of the tricks here is kind of leaving it as with as little as you can. So if you make a mistake, this is where some of the prior work of like when you're even just using your pen and you let it sit there will come in handy. That confidence to say, you know what, people will kind of interpret it as some little material change, as a little reflection of something in the environment, will come in handy so that you don't overwork the sketch, because it is supposed to be pretty loose and open. So now I got that. I want to get some detail in this. Oh, this is like a chrome piece right here. So got some high reflection and high contrast. Come back with the, we'll say the 3. I see some details in the lights right here, like this. Maybe add something over here, because it's just with the 3 right now. But I am trying to think about where am I going to put some highlights later on, where I'm going to put some, let it stay dark. I like that a lot. I should stop sounding so surprised when I like some of the work that I'm doing. Alright, so I have a lot of the value on the page, but now I've got to put some highlights. There are a whole bunch of spotlights, and the reference I'm looking at of this vehicle. Highlight mostly coming, focus us right here, so light hitting that surface. And this. Trying to get some of these strokes in there. I know I'm going to come back with the gel pen and work on that. I want to pull some of it out right now, even just with this pencil. Again, not overworking it. Don't try to be too specific with your strokes. Being too specific, being too like detailed, and like a very specific detail is going to not work out. It's going to be really frustrating. As get some reflection of the floor right here, and the tire. So, sorry, I got lost. I was saying, don't try to be too specific with your details. It's going to be really hard to capture. Yeah, this is nice. I can even like put a little bit of some reflection in the window right there over that surface. So we got all of that. I can't really see this detail there, but I got all that, and now some reflections. So let's say we got a highlight right here, 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 here. These are all these little spots. I guess the same light hitting each of these. So I'm saying there's 2 lights. So there's like maybe one right here and one right there. So 2 lights. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. I'm trying to draw it differently on each surface. Right? If it's a longer surface, it's a longer light. If the smaller surface is a smaller light. So that is how I take all that marker work we were doing earlier and try and apply it to an object. Right, the biggest thing is very early on, the smooth application of value to the page. You can always come back and rework that. What else? I can clean this thing up a little bit by cleaning up the line work, because now looking at this from farther away, I can see like it's a little bit form is kind of falling apart right there. So let's come in. Normally, I should be doing the pen work just before I'm doing the white pencil and the highlight, but I think I can still work with this in terms of cleaning some of this up. Trying to stick to a certain area on the sketch to make that darker, bring more contrast to it. At a certain point, there's only so much you can do, but we can still try for some of this. Here I'm going for precision, but as I work my way around the rest of the sketch, I allow myself maybe to be a little looser, trying to somewhat vignette out the details that I'm doing. Actually, that's part of that undercarriage there, so I definitely want to make that darker. Something right there. Yeah, and I am happy with that marker and highlight work for this 1955 Porsche Continental Cabriolet.